this is Donna Russo, and this is the Today Show Los Angeles, and it's the Disability Channel. And my guest today is Michelle Padilla, and she works for the California Department of Conservation. She has 22 Q11, and she'll talk a lot about that. I'm really happy to have Michelle here, and I want to talk about her work in the Department of Conservation in California. And without further ado, we'll take a break and we'll come back with Michelle.
Are you currently on the Ontario Disability Support Program? If you're interested in social media marketing, TV production, podcasting, and or getting off assistance, contact Jay Stoyan at 647-339-6847 or jay@thedisabilitychannel.ca. The Disability Channel, showcasing abilities.
Hi, Michelle. How are you?
Hey, Donna. Can you hear me okay?
Oh, yeah. I'm so excited to do this because we're going to do it a couple times, and then now we're doing it. So this is wonderful. And I'm so happy to have you here because I've been on your podcast called The Awareness Show, and I loved it.
Awareness shirt.
Yes, you are. You are. So can you tell us a little bit about 22Q11 and also a little bit about the things that you've endured through your life? I know there's been some sinus problems, heart problems, several operations, and you went through school and college, and now you have an awesome job. And I just want the people out there to know about you because you're very special. And
thank you, Donna.
Yeah, they need to hear.
So, growing up as a kid, I have always had multiple health issues.
Mhm.
And as growing up as a kid, I found out that I had a congenital heart defect called trilogy Othello, which is shaped like a boot. And I had so many operations and all that stuff. So, at the age of 30, I went to go apply for SSI, and they turned me down because they didn't see that. They told me I could work, and I said, to what point can I work? Because I'm not able to hold a job for a long time. So they said the next step was I went to regional center called ELTA. I don't know if you guys have that down there. You guys should have that. I was borderline. At the time, they called it mental retardation, but we don't like that term, so we call it intellectual disability. So I couldn't get their services at that time. So they told me to go take the test called FISH. It's FISH. It's a genetic testing to find out what's wrong with you. So I took the test, and that's when I found out that I had 22Q11 or DeGeorge or myelocardiopathia. There's so many names for that. So we decided to keep it for 22Q11. So it is genetic, and however, I got it by accident. Nobody in my family has it. So at the time, you guys know about Camp Lejeune. You guys heard about that Camp Lejeune, what's going on with the water and stuff like that.
Mhm.
My grandfather was stationed in Camp Lejeune in the 50s. So
Wow.
they were drinking the water. So that might have some of the health issues that I've gotten over the years. We're not 100% sure if that's true or not, but they're still finding out the details. So that was in the 50s. And so when you have 22Q, you have multiple symptoms going on. So like Donna was saying, I have sinus issues, and I have forever sinus, sinusitis. I get headaches a lot, and especially when it's hot or when it's a lot of pollen. And it's been extremely hot this past couple of weeks. We broke records. We had 110 about a week ago. That's how hot it was up here in Sacramento.
It's
And
crazy.
it
It's
was,
crazy.
it was. And then we had no power about a couple of weeks ago. So it was at the peak of the hour when it was extremely hot. And so we had to keep everything closed. We couldn't open it. We had fans and everything. everything. So, and we, mind you, we had 3 dogs, so we had to constantly make sure they had the water for them. So, it was kind of interesting, and the power went back on at 10 p.m. at night. So I get very tired from the sun. It drains me, so I can't be out there too long. I get sick. If it's too hot, I have to wear a hat, and I have to, and my feet swell up during the summer. So that's something new that started recently, and so
Oh,
we don't know
wow.
what's causing it. So I think it's because of the heat. So I don't know what's causing that. So that's a new health issue that just happened recently. So I have to find shoes that are arch support,
Uh-huh.
that are easy for me to wear. And so we found sandals that are comfortable, Easy Spirit. We found them at Skechers, all that kind of stuff. Because, like I said, my foot swells up, and it was so bad where I can't even put socks on. So that's
Oh, oh my
yeah.
God.
So um, my mom saw my foot, and we were at the zoo. Matter of fact, we do a zoo event every year for 22Q11, and so I was gonna wear tennis shoes and all that stuff, but I ended up wearing my Crocs because the doctor told me I have to wear Crocs now because they actually help your feet. So I did that, and my mom just looked at my foot, and she goes, "Take off those socks now. You're swollen too bad. No." Take them off. So I cannot wear socks during the summer. So if they do it, they have to be ankle socks. That's just one of the problems I'm having right now with the
Oh
feet.
my gosh.
Um, as I mentioned to Donna, I have suffered IBMS, which is irritable bowel syndrome. If anybody doesn't know that, that is also part of 22q syndrome. And what it is dealing with soft muscles. So people who have 22q11 have very limited mobility to do certain things, and they have soft muscles. So it makes it kind of difficult. So I have to wear Depends. I don't mind saying it. So everybody has to go through the change some more time or another. And so I have to wear them on the bus, and when I go home on the bus, so that way I won't have. But it gets bad when I'm not feeling good, especially when you're on that time of month, because then I also have the other side of the IBMS going on, so it's a double whammy. So they did several colonoscopies. They
Oh, wow.
found some polyps that were benign, so nothing there. So
Thank God. Yeah.
that's why they said it was soft muscles, and that's why it's caused me to have stomach issues. And then they did a series of multiple tests on me because I have trouble swallowing. So what they ended up finding was I have a hiatal hernia in my stomach, and so that causes me to have swallow certain kind of foods, anything pulpy, and then it comes back down and comes back up. Or if I'm drinking a beverage, it comes in through my nose. So that was, yeah, recently as well. Um, Again, I have had a cleft palate revision 2 years ago. Donna saw the pictures on Facebook. So what happens as you grow as an adult, your body's part is supposed to grow with it. Not in this case. So when 22Q, you're still like child size, but everything else, and everything else is like adult size. You know what I mean? It's like, yeah. So
It's, I know you've been through a lot of operations, and myself too with Turner syndrome. I went through a lot of ear infections, and I have no hearing in my left ear. So, and the operations, when I saw how many you've been through, and your sinuses and your cleft palate and the heart issues, you are so courageous, and like, it's unbelievable
well,
what you've gone through, and yet you succeed, and you went to school, went to college, and now you have this great job, and you're you're a success story.
well, I own that also my dad, believe it or not, because as I told you before, my dad was a supporter. And my vocabulary is I can't do it. He says, there's no I can't. you can't do it. So he talks like Yoda, and so he could be like, yes sir, no sir. Recently he just passed away, so we were dealing with the death in the family, and so it's been kind of hard because mom's doing the parent thing twice, and so she's like doing um the mom and dad part. So she's taking me to work every morning. I have to get up at 5 o'clock in the morning to be here at work at 8. And then, like I said, on Fridays we have date night, so it's pretty cool. So I get out work on Fridays at 4 o'clock, so I can go home and have date night with my mom. So I was gonna
No,
say
that's
mom and dad,
good.
so I'm still not used to my dad not being there, but yeah. And then my mom says that she was always overprotective of me.
Hmm.
So growing up as a kid, she didn't want me to get failed, have any failures with me. You know what I mean? Kind of like she didn't want nothing bad to happen to me. She didn't want me to get any bullies. And so she was afraid that I was gonna get picked on and not, you know. But then I turned around, I showed her I could do it. And so, and then how the podcast came about. Believe it or not, Donna, we're going on 11 years for the awareness show. Can you
That's
believe it?
incredible.
Yes. So
That's incredible.
next week will be our 11th anniversary, 11-year anniversary.
Yay. Good for
And
you. I mean that, and you're awesome on the show. I mean, you're very relaxed
I
and
got
you're
that from
very
my dad. He told.
calm.
So here's the
And
story how it all came about. I went to college at Cal State Dominguez, and they had a radio station there, and I was like, Kim and Aha, and this was when podcasts first started out. So nothing like now, how everything changed, everything. So I'm sitting there, and I'm like, okay, should I not? Should I not do it? Should I, I don't know, I don't know. And then I talked to my dad. My dad goes, "Go for it, do it, go for it, go for it." Mom says, "No, I don't think you should do that. I don't know, I don't know, I don't know." So, and then we were in a we call it dungeon, right? It was in Cal State Dominguez basement where there was hardly any internet service at all. And so it was like kind of rocky at times. You could see us and then you can't see us and then you can't, you know what I mean? It was like no pictures. So my dad would sit there, he'd be texting me, talk, say
oh,
something,
that's
talk.
great. Oh, he was such a support. I
Yes.
got to go on a little break right now, so we'll come back and we'll talk
Yeah.
a little more about your dad. We're back.
And we're back. Okay.
You had an awesome military memorial service
Thank
for
you.
your dad. He was a veteran, and I watched it, and I was like, everything was so done so well and formal and really honorable, and you spoke about your dad's support system when you were there.
Yep.
Yeah, so I'm sure he was your backbone.
Oh yeah.
Uh,
Even though we had button heads some many times, we'd get into arguments, you know, we still had the closeness. Um, I got into wrestling, and so like I said, and then as I found out about 22Q, we didn't have content at the time. We didn't figure out what we were going to talk about. So he says, "Oh, okay, 22Q." what else can we talk about? Causes and resources for people with disability. Because, like you, I fell in the cracks and not getting any services or not any help in Los Angeles whatsoever. So it was like, no, 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 you know.
Mm.
And then so when we moved up to Oxnard, I found out about a regional center. And then they said they opened up a new category with the brain infection. That's how I got into the regional center because I was telling you when at the age of 17, I had a grand mal seizure and I was in a coma for about a week. That made me
Oh
had
dear.
suffer brain damage. So because of that, I was in a coma for a week. And then later on, when I moved up to Oxnard, I got diagnosed with intellectual disability. So again, we don't the 22q11 people do have seizures all the time, but my case, it was an infection that went to the brain that caused me to have a seizure, whether it was a sinus infection or a teeth infection. We don't know what caused it. We may never know what caused it. So, again, so that's why I'm always cautious about getting sick or whatever, especially when COVID hit. See, I was stuck
Hmm.
inside like you all the time, and I I had gotten COVID in LA. I was supposed to go to
Oh.
LA Comic Con. I was so excited because I was gonna have media pass and all that stuff. I was gonna meet all these celebrities. I ended up getting COVID and a sinus infection on top of that for 2 weeks in LA. Then it turns out my dad had a heart attack, his first heart attack. So I could not go down and see him, which made me mad. So again, so with having 22q, I got to be careful not being having infections all the time because I get sick a lot. So
Hmm.
I got to make sure stay away, don't make it. So I've had staph infection, I've had a MRSA, and so I just got to be extra careful when that time. So
Wow.
luckily, COVID wasn't too bad, and then so my mom got it when she came back from New York visiting her dad. So, but my mom's very proud of me. So I'm going to tell you how this job came about as my next phase. So, like I said, we were going through Oxnard and I was getting some help. And that's when I finally found out I could be, um, I'm on the committee for the State Disability RAC up there at Oxnard. And so David told me about the LEAP program they have for department rehab. I didn't know about that at the time. So then after that, we ended up moving up to Rockland. And so, you had to get your bearings, all that stuff. And they had, you have to find out where the doctors are and all that stuff and transportation. Let me tell you, Donna, transportation up here is totally different than LA is. Let me tell you. So,
I'm sure.
well,
I'm
because you're
sure.
you're in the suburbs, right? So it's gonna be a little bit more different. And at the time, the buses stopped running at later. So
Hmm.
earlier because of COVID at the time.
Hmm.
So, and then, like I said, I met with that department rehab. I was able to conduct job coach. So they were doing mock interviews and they were telling me about the LEAP program. And so they were helping me get in the LEAP program. And so what I did, I was able to have some interviews for the state. So the first state job interview was for s- housing department. Okay, I
Hmm.
didn't get that job, obviously. So the second one was Department Conservation. And so we had some problems with the internet connection. And they called me up the day before. I didn't know anything about Department Conservation. So I'm sitting there doing my research. I'm like, okay, what do you guys do? What do you guys do so I can be prepared? And so I told him, said, I'm sorry, I didn't have enough time to get research done, but that was okay. And so they said, okay, we're going to let you know a week before April 15th, which April 15th is my birthday. And that following week, I called my job coach. I said, hey, what's going on? You have find anything, anything new? What's going on? And da, 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 da. He says, no, but let me reach out to them. And then he calls me back. He says, congratulations. I got the job from Department of Conservation.
Oh, wow. So let me just say something about the Department of Conservation. They take care of mining and
Yes.
reclamation. Like when they go into mine, they have to make sure that it is back to the way it was
Yep.
before the mining started. They also take care of agriculture.
Yep.
And because the land population is growing in California, they make sure that there is enough land for resources to take care of the nation's largest agricultural source.
Yes.
And they also do, with earthquakes,
Yep.
they take care of, data for the faults and how things are going with the faults. And, also they suggest ways to make buildings stronger and things to be stronger during an earthquake so that the population is safe. And there are several boards that discuss these things.
Yep.
And so you are a big part of all of this. And we talked yesterday or the other day about you're like a big manager of the whole like an
Well,
office organizer.
you could say often admin. Yeah, you could say admin. And like I said, I actually get to help them with the events when they do earthquake safety preparedness. So they had science day at the Capitol, so we got to hang out over there.
Yeah, that's
And
great.
then October we're gonna have Disability Employment Month over there at the Capitol. So we're partnering up with some other people there, which is kind of interesting and funny. You should say this, Donna, because I know Los Angeles is famous for getting earthquakes and all that stuff. So I'm sitting here at work one day, and it was about on a Thursday afternoon, about 4 o'clock. All of a sudden, we get an earthquake on the 19th floor.
Oh my God. Oh,
It was rolling, And I was talking to my friend in LA. I says,
oh, wow.
"Christian, we're having an earthquake." She goes, "What? You guys never have earthquakes." I said, "We're having an earthquake," and I couldn't get into my desk in time because, like I said, it was only rolling, and it was a 5.3 earthquake.
Oh my God. That's a big one. That's a big one.
It was a big one. And they said the last time that we have volcanoes up here too. I don't know if you're aware of that, but
I'd be
we have
like, ah.
the next volcano we had, the last one that erupted was Mount St. Helens, I think. So I might be wrong. They said it was 1912. That was yeah. So
Oh my gosh.
and then when I'm working from home, they gave me like videos to watch at home.
Hmm.
So I don't know if you guys know about the Dust Bowl. Have you guys heard about the Dust Bowl?
Hmm.
So believe it or not, Department of Conservation was started at the Dust Bowl. That's how it came out. 19, I said 45, somewhere around there, when the Great Depression hit. That's how Department of Conservation started, was because of the Dust Bowl. And that
Okay.
was kind of cool. So if you guys want to learn more about the Dust Bowl, you could go in their PBS. It's a 4.5 hour documentary. Let me tell
Oh,
you
I
guys.
love.
But it's very interesting to how the Dust Bowl and Department of Conservation came about. So it's kind of cool. So it's a lot of fun, and like I said, I get emails, or and I help them out with the events. I take pictures for them sometimes. I get like legal documents for them, so I do multiple stuff for them. And sometimes the busiest is Monday to Thursday, but right now they're kind of like everybody's on vacation, so that's why you see the office is kind of like
Okay.
and I can see the Capitol right next door to my office, so I get the window view.
Oh,
Yeah, so they
nice.
gave me the big desk. So, um, my
Cool.
dad. So how this turned about? I told my dad. I told my mom, "Oh, my dad, I got a job. I got a job. I got a job." They go, "We told you not to get a job downtown. Yet you went to got a job downtown." And they're shaking their heads at me. And like I said, I've always had problems keeping a job because they're always
Yeah,
retail. So this job is going on a year and a couple months now.
that's
So
wonderful. Oh my
yes.
God.
Yeah.
Well, that's fantastic. Yeah.
So I like I said, I get up at 5 o'clock in the morning to be here at work, and so I have to. The bus gets there about 6:46, somewhere in the around there in the morning. It is about 22 miles, to come up here, and then I kid you not, Donna, when you can see my view from all over the place. You could see fires going up, and, and then you could see other fires going up. So
Oh,
it's like,
wow.
yeah, so it's interesting. And when they had
Gee.
those fires last year um, from about a year ago, you could smell it, you know. And I was living in Rockland. I still live in Rockland. It was coming through our window. You could smell how bad it was. And so what the state does, they said if it's really bad, you can stay home and work from home. So they give you that option.
Oh, I would like that.
Yeah. So
That's pretty cool.
so I mean, and there's a lot of advantages and disadvantages, And if it's raining really bad, they'll say the same thing. Um, but they need to work on the make it more accessible for people with disabilities, and which is not. So I had gotten stuck in an elevator here at work one time for an hour and a half, and
Oh my God.
I just came back from a cardiologist appointment. They gave me a heart monitor on top of that. And I said, there, okay, I put my stuff down. I'm going to go get me a cup of coffee. And then next thing I know, I get stuck in the elevator. Luckily, I didn't have any accidents that day, so I was good. So,
Yeah. Well, we're going to take another little break, and we're going to wrap it up when you come back.
okay.
And I just love talking to you. This is great.
I miss you so much.
It is. We'll be back.
Hi, this is Dave Stevens with the Disability Channel.
An inability to break out. I'm sitting by the door on the second floor, losing my 7-year war. It's not an illusion, so why the exclusion?
Yeah, it doesn't matter. It's about you. So,
You say you're a disability dynamo.
Joining me, and welcome to this beautiful Travelers Championship.
I only want one accolade from you.
So my story is unique, it's amazing, but it's not anything that you guys don't have inside of you. I'm not a hero, I'm not anybody special, I'm just this guy without legs that went out, and I just did it.
Stats outweigh the Democrats, the diplomats, and the bureaucrats.
This is probably your first interview down on the ground on your butt and stuff like that?
First time ever,
All
baby.
right.
Eliminate and validate and validate and validate.
Stay with us and the Disability Channel.
We're back.
That was quick.
Yeah. Let's see. What can I wrap this up with? Let's see. What is your... I know you love your job now, but what do you say to those people out there who just, it just seems like it's so difficult, and they try and they try and they
Don't
try.
give up. Don't give up. Make sure
That's
you
what
have
I
your
say.
don't give up. Make sure you have your support system. Without the support system, keep trying. Eventually you'll get the SSI. Eventually, but just prove to them you can do it. You can do anything you want. There's gonna be times and days where you don't want to do anything, but sometimes you just have to say, "Okay, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it."
Yeah.
And
It's like when I have muscular dystrophy, and it's no joke. And some days it's really hard. My muscles are weak, and I'm like, I can't do this. But I do have my days that are not so good, and I also say to keep trying, and
Yep.
we have to. There's no other way.
yeah.
What are
And
you gonna do?
Donna, when I come home on the weekends, I don't want to do anything. All I want to do is sleep. So don't leave me alone. I'm gonna sleep.
Mhm.
And my mom goes, "That's all you ever do is sleep." I go, "Mom, because I'm tired. I get up at 5 o'clock in the morning. What do you want
I
me
know.
to do?"
That's early. But I do want to tell everyone out there to watch the awareness show, to watch the show. and also to watch our web series created by Peggy Lane and starring me. It's on YouTube, and it's won a lot of awards, and it's also a lighthearted view of disabilities, because I think you got to laugh at it once in a while.
Well, speaking of shows, Donna, we are coming back, and we're going to be back on podcasting on August 26th. So yes, we're coming back, and a shout out to Harlan, who is phenomenal, who always gets me guests like Marion Roz. We had Jerry Jewell from the Facts of Life. So
I love Jerry. Yeah.
yeah, so we're coming back August 26th, and it's going to be our 11th year of doing podcasting. Oh, let me get a shout out to my team before I go, because they're going to kill me if I don't. As you know, we have Ruben Garcia. He is our engineer, a music engineer.
Yay.
We have Jackie, who is my co-host, and Maxie, who just finished up Comic-Con in San Diego, and she is the one for this fabulous logo that I have, the original logo. So she's a comic book artist, and she's getting her name out there. And let me tell you, Donna, she's very shy. I think you have talked to her a couple times on the awareness show, but she's very shy, and she's coming out of her shyness, and she's doing more with Comic-Con. Yes. And with Maxie and I, we are in the works of hopefully doing our own comic book series together. We haven't discussed that because of our schedule. So we're hoping. So
lots of wonderful things. That's wonderful. That's great.
Yes.
And I just have to mention all the stuff that Peggy Lane did for Donna on the Go with our logo, and the directing, and the writing of the scripts, and the filming, and worked with some wonderful people. And yeah. So I want to say thank you so much for being on the show.
Thank you.
I would love to be on your show.
Yes.
And I was a couple of times. It was fun. So I just
the Christmas party that we had, that was a lot of fun. Remember the Christmas party?
Yeah, I remember that. I said a few jokes.
Yeah, and you got to hang out with the famous Bobby Collins. There you go. Yeah. So
thank you so much. Yeah. Yes. Thank you so much, and have a good week. And
yes, stay out in the hot sun.
Yes. My success, Michelle Padilla. Yes. Okay, guys. Nice to
later.
Chat with you.
Yes.
And bye-bye.
Bye.